最果てのストーリー抱いてあてもなくさまよい続けた滲んだ New World It's only just begun 今始まりの This is where tomorrow brings a new day It's time to learn the play this game Ready for it?
Welcome into episode 7 of the
Geeks by Night Subbed and Dubbed Anime Book Club.
I am one of your co-hosts, Courtney Osborne, and I'm joined by my other co-host, Josh Pilgrim. The man with the katana. Just gonna pull it out. Here you go. So anybody watching this on video can see that he just broke his mic again by making a really loud noise.
It was necessary.
Okay, so we probably shouldn't delay announcing this. Let's get it out of the way so we can move on with our lives. This is actually going to be, at least for the foreseeable future... my camera messed up. This is going to be the last episode of this podcast. Like I said, at least for now. As of right now, it's not performing very well. Listens and views-wise, like it's significantly lower than the Games Cast. Like... to where we don't even have 10 listens every week, which is really bad. And it's not, I don't know, we just figure that we're not having as much fun doing this, and we're not putting out a good enough product to continue doing this if we're not getting anybody actually emailing us every week, anybody actually watching us every week, things like that. And so Josh and I are talking about going back to the drawing board and coming back with some other show maybe in sometime in the near future, you know? Like we don't exactly know what we're going to do, but we know that this isn't performing well enough, and we don't want to beat a dead horse, you know? We don't want to continue if it's going to be the lowest performing thing we've ever done. So, but and this has been, we've been talking about this for a little over a week now, but the thing is we didn't want to end this podcast without finishing Btooom, because it was the first longer anime that we started, and so we've decided that we'd at least go this far and decide from there, and so we are going to wrap up the Btooom Anime Book Club talk today, the final 3 episodes, and we're going to talk about Wakakozake episodes 7 through 9.
Because we can.
And I am going to open up a loot crate on this podcast just because it's anime related. We'll get into that in a few minutes. But just because this podcast is ending doesn't mean that the Games Cast is ending or that Geeks by Night is ending, because it's not. We're still going to continue doing stuff on this channel for Geeks by Night, everything like that. So make sure to like and subscribe if you are watching this or listening to this anywhere. All the links are going to be in the description of the YouTube video and on the MP3, wherever you're listening to it, if you're listening to it on a podcast service. We appreciate it. And we hope you look forward to whatever we decide to come up with next and continue listening to the Games Cast. All right. So, you have been watching what besides Btooom and Wakakozake? Anything?
I actually did watch a couple episodes of Durarara.
Durarara.
X2.
How was that? How were those?
So good, man. I'm just so sad that I'm pretty sure it's like 2-3 episodes from being done with season 2, and the question is whether it was popular enough this time to warrant not waiting 5 years before season 3.
Yeah. Oh man, is there any word on if that's getting dubbed?
I have no idea. The first season was dubbed,
yeah,
so I
I've
would
seen the
imagine.
first. But it's also been 5 years, like you said.
Yeah.
So who knows if it was popular enough again this time to warrant it to come in English or whatever.
I sure hope so, because you need to see it.
I would love to watch it. I liked the first season a lot. I am super stoked that Sword Art Online 2 ends tonight. The dub finally airs, the season or the finale of it, and so starting next week I'll be able to finally catch up and watch season 2, and I'm so excited. Like I can't. Oh my god, I'm so excited. You can't see my hands; they were just below me, but I was like, ah. Other than that, I haven't been watching any anime. Been watching Heroes, catching up on Heroes for Heroes Reborn. I'm about halfway through season 3 now. So I've only got
Nice.
the rest of that season and then season 4 before I can watch the first 2 episodes of Heroes Reborn. And I'm like, I thought it's taking everything in me not to just skip ahead to Heroes Reborn, which you could ask Josh, because I was messaging him and I told him, I was like, I'm just going to skip these 2 seasons. And then like 10 minutes later, I was like, never mind. I just found out that it's canon, and so I have to watch these 2 seasons. And then like 30 minutes later, I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna skip season 3 and watch season 4. And then 10 minutes later, I was like, you know what? Never mind. I'm just gonna watch season 3 also. It's been rough. I can't wait to watch Heroes Reborn. I've heard it's good. Not anime related, obviously.
That's the last episode, so who cares?
Yeah. Yep. It looks like you wrote a note for this being the last episode. Did you want to read that?
No, I've pretty much said what we said here.
It
Just
looks
said
so
it in a funnier
professional.
way.
Yeah, you might as well read it. Nobody's going to watch this anyways.
For the 2 of you who watch it, plus the 3 views that we give it for clicking on it a couple times during the week,
I didn't think about that.
we have a different kind of news this week. It's known as bad news, or something referred to as sad news, or I guess maybe it could be considered glad news. I don't know. But this is our 7th and final episode of the Geeks by Night subbed and dubbed anime book club. Yep, that is correct. It's over. We had a long run, not really, but all good things, or fairly mediocre ones, must come to an unfortunate or welcome end. I'll miss the anime conversation, but I won't miss having to take notes on anime, because it kind of starts to make it feel like a chore rather than being fun.
Yeah.
But thank you to the faithful few.
Yeah.
It was a good
run. Or, like you said,
tiring jog.
a very mediocre run. Yeah, I like how you pointed out the notes thing. When we, early on in this podcast, when we started talking about how we should run it and how we could do it quality, like do it up to par or whatever, we said we needed to take copious notes over every episode so that we knew what we were talking about. And then every single week, having to do that for the episodes was like it was like homework. It's like, I do not want to type all these notes or everything that happens during this episode. Like, I would just want to watch it and experience it, and that's a pain in the ass. It really is. It reminds me a lot of reviewing video games. God, I've reviewed now 60-some video games over the past 2 years, and having to do that means either taking notes while you're doing it or trying to remember everything afterwards, and both of them suck. Like, taking notes during the game is really, really bad, especially like a 150-hour game. That sucks to do. But then try to play that 150-hour game and then think back on all of the stuff that you should, and it's horrible. But yeah, so it was definitely a slog. But we just got a comment, Badass Broski, Geeks by Night. Do you guys play Call of Duty?
Which was good for one game, Black Ops.
Black Ops, yep. I'll play a little bit of Blops 3 whenever it comes out, but probably not any after that. Oh well, we'll see. Okay, so before we get into the review or the book club discussion, and we are also going to have to review Btooom since we're done with it now. But before we get into all of that, a few weeks ago, in fact about a month ago now, no, 3 weeks ago, we brought up the news that Loot Crate and Crunchyroll were doing this collaboration project where if you could get a free month of both of them, and so we were like, okay, let's try that. And Josh forgot to, and I managed to sneak in and get a free month of each of them, and I finally got my Loot Crate for it. And we were like, well, hopefully it's going to be anime related because it was tied to Crunchyroll. So I'm going to go ahead and open up the Loot Crate on this episode. So for those of you who are listening to this podcast, you won't be able to see it, but I'll try to describe it. So if you want to check it out, check out the YouTube video. All right, you ready to do that? Talking to somebody in the chat about Call of Duty. I'm going to go ahead and move the camera down to the box. It's going to be really close up. So here we go. Without further ado, the Loot Crate. Ba-da-da-dum. What the hell? Oh my god! I got a Pikachu hat! Looking.
Oh, the jealousy.
Oh my god.
That is so cool. Who cares about the rest? All right.
Yep.
That's what matters.
Alright. So, I'm going to wear it over my headphones for the rest of the episode. Alright, what else is in here? We've got a thing. What the hell is this? Is there like some kind of instructions in here? Do you know how loot crates work?
I do not.
I don't either. This reminds me of something. What is this? Hearthstone. There's a Hearthstone. Looky, a blue thing. I don't know what the hell that is. Okay.
He loves us,
See?
by the way.
He loves us, Badass Broski. What up? I love you too. This it looks like it's the Simpsons Kid Robot. Look at that. You buy. Let's find out what's in here. Oh, the box is like really closed. Like I don't want to rip it. It's a cool box. Should I just keep the box? All right, let's see. It's in a plastic sack now, or plastic bag. Oh my god!
Oh my goodness, it's a Homer Buddha.
That is incredible. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I forgot I was supposed to describe it for the audio listeners. Oops, my bad. A Supernatural, the car from Supernatural, the 67 Chevy Impala sports sedan. Look at that little bitty model car.
That
I
is
don't know
awesome.
what that has to do with anime.
There is a Supernatural
Japan.
anime.
Oh, I guess.
Or animation.
Join
at
the
least.
Hunt. Is it called Supernatural Join the Hunt? Because that's what it says
It could
there.
be.
All right, we got a pin here that says Loot Crate, September 2015, Summon. Ooh, and it's got Pikachu on it.
Ooh.
That's cool. A little, what the fuck is this? A plaque or something? There's always room for another. Scratch off gently with the coin. Play free and enjoy a card pack on us. Oh, it's a Hearthstone card pack.
Nice.
Interesting. I don't play Hearthstone, though.
Well, you know, you have friends that do.
Master Summoner free mobile game. From Loot Crate. Ooh.
Woo!
Yeah.
You know you love your mobile games.
I do love my mobile games, so I will have to try that later. What is this? Oh, this is a thing. A magazine.
Ooh. Loot Crate the magazine?
Table of contents. Oh, this month's theme is summon. Blah, blah, blah. It tells about some stuff in here. Supernatural interview. I choose you, Pikachu. And cool. And there's something on the back. Oh, they're like cards. Pop-out cards.
Oh, that is awesome.
Okay, so that was it. That's everything that comes in this Loot Crate.
All worth it while for that hat. Everything is worthwhile for that hat.
Absolutely. The free hat, man. Everything
I'm
else,
so upset now.
everything else I don't care about, but the fucking hat, awesome. And I got it all for free, just for attaching my debit card to the account, just to get it for free. Yes. Hey, yeah. Okay, you ready to move on to the book club discussion?
Sure.
I didn't take any notes on Waka Kozake, but I know you did. So do you want to lead us through that?
Alrighty. Wakakozake, episode 7. Name potato salad, which you may not know how extremely relevant that is to me, because I randomly shout out things such as potato salad. Why? We don't know, but I do. Anyways, on to the episode. She, what is the name of the woman in this anime? Do you have any idea?
Don't have any idea what her name is.
Well, the lady in the anime goes to some shop and she's like, "Do I want rice or wheat? Potato salad. Ooh, that looks good. It's cheap. It comes quickly. So why not get that? What goes good with something cheap? A simple drink. So she has a simple drink. I don't know what it was, like oolong tea or something. Potato salad. And she gets very happy as she eats it, and they have some of the shape of the potato still in the food, and the shapes begin to fill her tummy so perfectly to make her full, whatever that means.
I think it was oolong beer or something like that.
Oolong beer? That makes sense for her.
Yeah, she always drinks beer.
She's very excited about the boiled eggs in the potato salad. Boiled eggs, boiled eggs, boiled eggs. She does that, so that's not weird.
She's awesome, though.
Yes, she is. She's weird, but
we've got some fucking OK Cupid or Plenty of Fish going on in our Twitch chat right now. Whisper me your kick, Patriots girl. Okay, sorry. Let's roll on. Episode 8 of Wakakozake.
Goya Chanpuru. My skin is irritated and I feel frustrated. My biorhythm is off. I need something to make me feel better, which means I need meat. This is how the episode starts, and so she goes and gets some meat. Goya Chanpuru with spam rather than pork, because spam goes well with the Goya, which is apparently bitter melon. And of course, after she is eating it, she says, "Pshoo!" Ah! She changed it. We don't know why, but she changed it.
No, she said Pshu yo, right?
I have it written down as Pshoo. Ah.
Oh, maybe it was or ya or something. I don't know.
Or Pshwa.
Yeah, it was different this time at the very end.
And she's in a great mood.
Yeah. So this is really itching my head.
Oh.
Continue.
Episode 9. Kani miso. Eating kani miso makes you want to drink more and more sake, but she will not let her guard down. She will be prepared. It is a small dish, as they can only get so much of the stuff from each crab, and it sounds like it's some sort of organ, like a heart or something, because she says that it tastes like life. And then she's very happy to be eating the organ that is needed for survival for the crabs. And so she makes an evil face and goes, "Enphew."
But they talk about cows.
They talk about
not cows, pigs in this episode. Like, isn't there a pig when she's talking about the organs and stuff?
I think she's talking about what people are willing to eat.
Oh, okay.
But I know that they also
really
showed
confused.
that they're getting the stuff out of the crabs.
Okay. Makes sense, I guess. All right. That's enough about Wakakozake, because
That was terrible.
it doesn't make any sense anyways.
Talking about those episodes was hard, man.
Yeah, let's move on. Let's go to Btooom, because it's the final 3 episodes of Btooom. You started watching Btooom over a month ago, and I told you to slow down and to save it all for episode by episode to go through on this podcast. And
Yep.
so you finally, after a month, were able to finish it, only to find out that it doesn't actually end the story.
Dang it! Such pain and agony.
Okay.
So you want to start us off?
Yeah, let's go ahead. Episode 10. It starts off with where we left off with Sakamoto coming onto the beach and perceivably blowing up because he goes for the food and just the food on the beach. But come to find out, he didn't blow up, and the reason why, which we tried to come up with a few reasons why he could have survived it last week, or and we were both wrong. The reason he was able to survive was because when he walked up to the bomb or walked up to the food, he wasn't actually walking to it. He was walking in a straight line way back away from it to make it look like he was walking to it, so that Oda couldn't see it. And then Oda blew up the area or whatever, and it didn't kill him. Blah blah blah. So he survived.
Also,
Yeah.
Also, we were trying to figure out how in the world. We were like, how does Oda even have the thing? Because he talked before, so it's not like he could have had it sitting in his mouth the whole time. It turns out that was tucked into his sleeve.
Yeah, and he
So
just
just
bit
reached over and grabbed it.
bit it out of his sleeve, which is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then we find out that Oda recognizes Sakamoto. They were actually high school buddies. Yay!
Rose!
Go ahead and continue. I gotta type something.
So Oda walks. He ends up getting the case and he walks off. And then Sakamoto goes back to their base with Taira and Himiko and all that. And he's sitting there thinking about it. And he's like, so I know this guy from here. And then we see the backstory. They're bros. Oda's good at everything, but he's friends with like everyone. They're talking back and forth, you know. He feels like Oda opens up only to him more than he does to anyone else. So he decides he'll open up to Oda. That's only fair, you know.
Yep.
Gotta have the back and forth. So he tells him, he ends up telling him who he likes, and Oda keeps trying to get, he's like, dude, just, you know, go for it before you lose your chance. Then apparently he lost his chance because Oda went for it with the girl that Sakamoto likes.
Yep. And boned her.
Yep.
He totes boned her. And that pissed off Sakamoto quite a bit. So much that he beat the shit out of Oda, and they both got suspended from school.
I'm telling you, I said he had anger issues. I said he had them.
Yeah. Which would explain the father beating thing that you brought up last week.
Mm-hmm.
Also, while this is all going on, the Psycho Kid from previous episodes shows up and steals his bombs back from Sakamoto, only to never be seen again for the rest of the show. We never saw him again. He disappeared.
Oh, anime industry. Give us more seasons of shows that don't finish.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see. Going on, Himiko and Sakamoto and the doctor are all going back to the abandoned building where the girl was, the nurse that the doctor abandoned last time.
One-armed lady.
Yeah. Himiko tells Sakamoto about her distrust of the doctor. So they all split up when they get there. And then the episode ends with Himiko running down a hallway screaming out a window for Sakamoto to throw down the case he's carrying because the doctor put a bomb in it. And it was just like crazy because then it explodes and the episode's over. And
you're like, oh my gosh.
He died!
He might have died.
Holy shit!
I totally believe it. And we move on to episode 11.
Yeah, let's move on to episode 11. Sorry, I'm trying to pay attention to the chat in this also.
That's all right.
You have a lot more notes than I do.
Yeah. That's, like I said, it's so hard because I have to keep pausing throughout the entire episode, writing these big notes just to remember everything and to know what I want to talk about. So when episode 11 starts, Date makes a crazy face. It's like, one down!
Now the other.
And Himiko just like, she's done. She's like, Ryota's dead, nothing matters. She just falls down to the ground, starts crying. And Date starts coming at her like, how did you know that there was a bomb in the case? And he's walking up.
Austin, or not Austin. Go on. Arnold. I messed that up.
How did you know there was a bomb in the case? How did you know? And he walks up to her, and all of a sudden from behind he hears a familiar voice. And it's the one-armed crazy lady. And she stabs him in the back with a sickle. At this moment, I paused the anime and just started, like, fist pumping, like, yes! But then they have to run away because she didn't stick it very far. It was very sad that she didn't just kill him right there. So from there, they're running down the hallway, and he's like, oh, I've set this whole place with bombs. hits a bomb that should have blown them up, but they luckily, because every time these people get so lucky, they trip and fall right before the explosion in front of them. And so now that they know that the whole place is rigged with explosives, so they run out a window and he's waiting for them. Do you know what happens from there?
I'm trying to find in my notes where you were.
All right, so after they come out of the window, he's got this newfound confidence. He's like, yeah, you guys are done for. And then Shiki grabs one of Himiko's bombs and chucks it at him. He's like, oh, crap, I forgot they also have BIMs.
Oh, yeah, okay, so that's why I can't find where you are. Is your notes are so much more copious than mine. Mine are just like major points, and yours are like point by point by like moment by moment by moment. Yeah. Did you already get to where he tries to use Sakamoto's BIMs?
No, not yet.
Okay.
So real quick, Date and Shiki fight. Shiki's the name of the one-armed crazy lady.
Yeah, the nurse.
They're like fighting. She's throwing bombs at him. He screams and runs like a little girl, but he's actually doing it to get her into a trap. It works. The bomb behind her explodes. She falls. The bomb she's holding drops and explodes. Bye-bye, Shiki. Then it's just Himiko and Date. And here's the point where you were at.
Okay, so the doctor tries to use Sakamoto's BIMs to attack Himiko when he realizes that they don't work, which obviously means that Sakamoto is alive, which is a surprise to both Date and Himiko. So Sakamoto comes out and he begins chasing her, chasing Date. Date leads him into a trap where he's placed a BIM underneath a rock, and he's about to blow it up. And as soon as he clicks the button, he hears a beep behind him, and you find out that Sakamoto has actually switched the places of the bomb beforehand, and it blows up right behind Date. And then he's immobilized, and Sakamoto's explaining. He's like, "Yeah, I knew it was there, and I did this ahead of time so that I knew that you would lead me here. That's the only hiding place, and blah blah blah." So he outsmarts him, and I went ahead and wrote that down as my favorite moment of the week because it's just another moment where Sakamoto ends up outsmarting everybody because he is brilliant, time and time again during the show. Oh man, what is going on in the chat right now?
We have an active chat for the first time since like the second episode.
That Pokemon hat made me find your IP. Okay.
Hey, whoa, nobody disses
and people,
the ponytail.
Somebody's dissing your ponytail. It's so strange.
Whoa. What does that mean?
This has been a very, very toxic chat today so far.
Yeah.
Anyways,
down.
So after they disable Date, the nurse comes in while he's down, and she tries to kill him, only to decide not to do it because she still loves him, even though she hates him and can't forgive him. But she just can't kill him. And so Sakamoto and Himiko ditch that place. They're like, we out, we're going. And Sakamoto suggested they should find all of the green gems and everybody's that they've killed so far, everybody's wrist, so they get off the island. They go and search all the bodies and find out that all of the gems have already been taken. Oh no, where could they be? We know where they are because we'd seen earlier that Tyra was taking them, sneakily taking them throughout each episode.
Mm-hmm.
So that moves on to the finale of Btooom, episode 12, the infamous ending that Josh was so excited for. Weren't you?
Infamous ending that I'm so excited for?
Yeah, you were so excited for this. You were like, yay, Btooom! And you're like, oh my god, it has its own new opening.
Yeah.
And you were stoked for it.
I was stoked.
Only to find out
I watched it.
It doesn't actually have a great ending.
So we start with Tyra having his BIMs go after Ryota and Himiko.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so I wanted to bring up right here. This is the final episode of the show. Tyra is still fucking alive during the very first episode when we were talking about Btooom, we were like, okay, who do you think's going to live and who do you think's going to survive? We both said Tyra's going to die right away. We both picked him. We were like, dude, this guy is never going to survive this. He's still fucking alive, and it's the last episode. So right then and there, I was like, my mind is blown. Speaking of blown minds, Tyra has lost his mind.
Yeah. So thankfully, they do demonstrate that he's lost his mind and he's not actually such a horrible man that he would turn on them. That was very, very welcome. And I gave Tyra Character of the Week for the final week. Just so you know.
Okay. Are you going to continue, or are you just going to quit there?
Well, I'm going to go back into how it's going.
Okay.
So he has, the homing bims. So they're coming at Ryota. He takes a big pull, smacks one, breaks it. Next one comes, he smacks it, falls close to him, blows up, hurts his leg. Ryota's down. So now the next one comes in, and Himiko realizes this is just like the game. So she grabs it, and apparently, if it's not close enough to the person who was originally targeted, it will not blow up. So she turns it off, chucks it away. Then she's like, I'll do this to all of them. So the next one comes out, and it's coming towards her, and I don't know why it takes Ryota figuring this out. But Ryota realizes, oh wait, Tyra's not a complete idiot. He's going to send this one at Himiko. So he jumps up, grabs it, turns it off, chucks it. Then Tyra gets scared and runs away. They were able to radar ping him, and they start chasing him, going, Tyra, we don't care that you did this. We still want to be friends. Come back. Come back.
And he's also apologizing.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I'm so sorry. I just want to escape the island together. I'll never do this to you again.
Yeah, he thinks somehow this is all his fault for leaving Tyra all those millions of times.
Which it pretty much is.
But what is he supposed to do? Let everyone else die? No, I'll stay next to you, Tyra, and just let everyone else get screwed. Or I'll stay next to you, Tyra, and let you succumb to the venom. I'll stay next to you, Tyra, and we can starve together. I mean, the options were very, very scarce there.
Yep. So then Komodo dragons surround Tyra, and it looks like he is done for, that he's going to get eaten by all these Komodo dragons, and at the very last second, Tyra's like, I'm not going out like this, and he pulls up one of his bims, aims it at himself, and takes himself out with all the Komodo dragons, and he dies. So we chose him to die, but we chose him to die really early on, not in the final scenes of the last episode. So he does take himself out, and that tears Sakamoto and Himiko up. And
here's my note on that. Himiko, Ryota, and I cry over his dead body. I teared up.
Yeah, they were a mess after that because they were all friends. They were protecting each other throughout the entire series, and he ended up taking himself out like that. So they go off afterwards. Himiko shows Sakamoto the chips that she has, says that she has enough that he can escape the island if she kills herself or if he kills her, and she's going to let him do that. She's like, you can take it. I'll do this for you. And Sakamoto refuses to, says that he won't leave her behind. They start crying together. They start holding hands. Then they start kissing. And then my note said, they totally boned. Never mind. He backs down. Because the reason I wrote this is because they set this up so awkwardly. Like,
yeah.
They start kissing, and then the camera zooms out of the building, the moon's over the building, and it's just like, okay, well, they're clearly having sex there. And then it zooms back in, and he's standing over her, and they're both still completely clothed, and they're both, like, sweating and breathing hard and stuff, and it's like, they have not boned yet. Nope, they have not boned. And so he eventually backs down, and he's like, you know what? I don't want to do it like this. She's freaking out right now because of the things that she'd gone through earlier on the island. And he's like, let's get off this island together, and then we can be together for real. And then right at that moment, the final scene cues. And what I mean by final scene is the opening for the first 11 episodes of the show starts playing, and it zooms out. It goes back to Tyrannos, Japan. Tyrannos, Japan is talking about how they're having server issues and camera issues on the island. They don't know why. They're like, oh no, this can't be happening now. This is the worst time for this to be happening. We have to send a helicopter in there to fix it. Hurry, do it, get back. And so the helicopter takes off, and the opening theme is still playing, so it's really badass. The helicopter's flying off, and there's a guy in the helicopter, and he's like, Ryota, I'm sorry. This is all that I can do for you. And it's just like, what? Like, oh, how does he have a connection to Sakamoto? Like, what is going on here? And then the fucking show is over. And it shows like a picture, a panning of all of the other characters that are still alive on the island who have not died yet. And it's like, clearly there is more to the story. There's no season 2. The manga is still continuing, so it's obviously continued there, but it ends there in the anime. And so, like, I messaged Josh as soon as I saw that scene. Even though I've seen this show 2 years ago, I didn't remember this at all. So I messaged Josh afterwards, and I'm like, what the fuck? I'm so angry right now. Oh, man. So, yeah.
Yeah.
You waited a month to see an episode that didn't have an ending.
Yeah, like it's the one thing that happens in anime. Like, I love anime. I love it more than way more than cartoons, more than a lot of TV shows. But they like half of them have these terrible, terrible, terrible endings where either it just doesn't work out the way it should, or it doesn't finish, or like you don't understand what even happened. Ugh.
Yep.
So painful.
So, as we discussed immediately after finishing it, that we're going to continue watching or reading the manga so that we can know what happens next, because this is never getting a second season. In all likelihood, it's one of those that's just never gonna happen. And Josh, you said something about how this shot up to maybe your number one as something. You want to explain that?
This is now my number one anime that I wish could have a second season, but never ever will.
Yeah.
And it's number one because it's such a good show.
Mm-hmm.
The character's fantastic. The psychological thing's fantastic. Well written, well animated. Oh, but such a bad ending.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not even a bad ending. It's just the fact that it doesn't end.
Exactly.
So we don't get conclusion. We don't get closure on the story. Like what I mentioned to Josh in the chat afterwards, that I was so angry that we didn't get an ending, but at the same time I was so excited because that final scene was so badass. The way they played it out, the way they had the music playing and everything like that, the hints they dropped, it was really, really cool. But it sucked to not get an ending, a true ending. I went ahead and picked my favorite character of the week as Oda, who is the sunglasses dude, who is your favorite from the very beginning.
Yeah.
I picked him this time because the fact that we finally figured out who he was, that he had a connection to Sakamoto back in high school.
But we also found out what a scumbag he was.
He was a straight up baller, son. He was good at everything.
He was a scumbag baller.
Everybody, he was awesome. He was trying to teach Sakamoto a life lesson, and Sakamoto didn't take it very well.
It's not a good life lesson to teach your bro.
It wasn't his girlfriend. It was just the girl he liked. So.
Yeah, but he pretty much did it because.
Yeah.
That's the problem. He could have been like, "Oh, dude, I kind of like her too.
Mm-hmm.
You should go for it. Otherwise, I'm gonna go for it." Not, "Oh, bro, sucks to be you."
Bro, sucks to be you. Okay, so you didn't have a favorite moment? Why not?
No, because it sucked. Because frack. That's what I wrote. I said none of it because frack.
Because frack.
I was just the ending, so upset.
Because you were just so emotionally distraught because of the no end.
The death of Tyra and then the no end.
Yeah, I understand. I get it, man. I totally get it. Again, my favorite moment was when Sakamoto swapped the bombs. I thought that was badass. That was just
That's-
another one of those moments where Sakamoto outsmarted everybody on the island, and it was just really cool.
Oh.
We didn't come up with any. We didn't come up with a threesome this week.
Just now realize that's what that was. I was like, oh no, what?
We didn't come up with one ahead of time like we had been. Okay, so let's do a quick threesome. Yeah, a quickie threesome. What were your favorite 3 moments of Btooom? Come up with those.
Yeah, number 3, I'd say was the first. I mean, it'll probably be like the first 3 weeks' favorite moments. When he makes his first kill.
Yeah, I was gonna say that was my number 3 too, where he lays the trap for the guy, puts the BIM in the ground, and jumps off the cliff.
Yeah,
badass.
Then afterwards, the whole psychological thing, he throws up. He kind of blames himself, can't figure out how to deal with it at first. Number 2, that's a little harder.
Number 2 for me would probably be the depth perception part in on the beach where he tricks Oda about how far up on the beach he is by going way back and stuff. That was really, really cool because we both tried to come up with as many theories as we could, and neither of us were anywhere close. We were like, I had no idea how he's going to survive this. Can't figure this one out. So that was really cool.
My number 2 would have to be the fight with the kid. Because, it was the whole, we're both Btooom players and all that. Made it like the game, and then the radar canceling and stuff.
Yeah, that's a good one. That'll probably be my number 1 then. That's actually thinking about that, because I really, really loved that whole scene. Where they were player for player, they were on par with each other. It was perfect. It was a really cool scene.
My number 1 would be the whole fight with Oda. Where, they're both diving through the jungle, dive for the case, no one gets it. Finally, Ryota gets it, he's in the fire. Oda dives through the fire, drop kicks him, grabs the case, dives into the ocean, just like, psh.
That was pretty cool. Yeah, I agree. Wow, that was a really quick threesome. Flew through that. That was a quickie of a threesome, man. Oh, man, I'm worn out. We don't have any listener questions this week, again, which is another reason why we're canceling this podcast. So that'll do it. That'll do it for episode 7 and the final episode of the
Geeks by Night subbed and dubbed anime book club.
Again, don't fret. Hopefully, we'll be back soon with some kind of a new show. We're going back to the drawing board, coming up with something cool. Even if it's us just streaming games and just talking about random stuff, like, we don't know yet. We have no idea what we're going to do yet, but we want to continue doing something. We just know that this podcast isn't performing well enough to continue putting in all the time and taking all the copious notes and making anime not as fun anymore. So, and this podcast may end up coming back in the future at some point. We don't know. Who knows? If we decide that we really want to do it, something cool comes up, and we could end up bringing it back. So we'll see. But we do have the Geeks by Night Gamescast still ongoing every Thursday night, so be sure and check that out, twitch.tv/geeksbynight. Afterwards, the podcast gets uploaded everywhere to iTunes, YouTube, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, all the podcast services. This podcast and all of its previous episodes, all 7 episodes, will be up on all the podcast services. So if you want to catch up on these podcasts in the future at some point, they'll always be there. We're not going to pull these down just because the podcast is over. But we just feel like it's time. It's time to pull this one down.
Time to put it down.
All right, so be sure and like and subscribe everywhere if you are listening to this, which we highly doubt. And then follow us both on Twitter. I am at Osborne_2009. Josh is
at got_it_made43.
So I can't say until next time because there's no next time. Peace.
We out.
Bullshit, the one you lead to boost the next stage. Take down in line.